Jen from SS Designs Couture. Thanks for tuning in and joining me. Today I'm going to be putting a piece of this We Did It Together transfer on a found surface. Isn't this such a beautiful transfer? The entire transfer measures 12 by 18 and comes in 5 different pieces. You can go ahead and cut along the dotted lines and then piece the transfer back together later using the outside border, or you can keep this transfer whole. I chose to use the 2 bottom pieces. At first I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to use the one or both of them, so I did cut them apart. Then I ended up having to line them back up and piece them together because I liked the original layout of it. However you like your transfers, this is a complete personalized craft, so do whatever you guys like to do. Because it is a new transfer, you'll see me down below taking a Sharpie, and on the transfer backer I write back 1, and then on the front side of the transfer I write 1. This helps me later be able to match my transfer to the correct backer. It saves a little bit of time. Then you also see me fuzzing these new transfers. This is just laying it down on a microfiber towel or a fuzz mat and then lifting it up and doing that a couple different times to help remove some of the initial stickiness on the transfer. You will see these transfers are very, very forgiving. They are a silk screen on top of a harder material. So you want to make sure that you don't stretch them, but you can play around with them just a little bit. They can take some wear and tear. So as I'm laying down my transfer, I'm then going back through and I'm smoothing out any wrinkles or any bubbles. Again, it's silk screen and you want to make sure the paste goes only where it's supposed to. So you want to make sure it's nice and smooth on your surface. Taking our small squeegee and some black shimmer paste, and I'm just going to go over the transfer. I'm going to be very, very generous with the amount of paste that I am using because I can just scrape it back into the jar. Another thing that I'm doing, because it's a larger transfer, is that I'm going to paste 1/2 of it, and then I'm going to lift up the transfer and gently put it back down. This is going to help prevent any paste from drying in the transfer. Then I'm going to go over to the other side and I'll be able to take some time and not worry about ruining the transfer with the paste. Again, I'm going to be very generous with the paste, making sure that the entire silk screen is covered. And then just scrape and wipe any excess right back into the paste jar. You will see that I pulled out my water bucket. I'm going to just peel up those transfers. You can see how crisp that edge was. I'll show you that again in a minute. I'm going to pull out my transfer, take my board eraser and my water bath, and I'm just going to wipe both sides of the transfer very gently. I'm going to do this almost immediately. However, you can let it sit and dry. I like to do it immediately just because it ensures that all of the paste is off. With proper care, these transfers get about 8 to 12 uses. So you really can get your money out of them if you're taking care of them. You will see again, I pull that larger transfer up. I'm going to place that transfer back down because when I peeled it up, I realized that I forgot the period. So I just wanted to go back through and finish that, make that more complete. It's very nice. I didn't lay it completely down because it is a little dry. However, I did place just the end piece back down and it worked out really nice. Again, I'm taking my board eraser, I'm wiping down the front side of it, and you can see there that that paste is coming just right off. It's turning my water a little bit black, but it is coming completely off of my transfer. I'll show you that in just 1 second how clean it is. Flip it around and I'm going to do the back. I do the back a little bit lighter than I did the front just because you don't really want to mess around with the adhesive. I'm going to then move my bath. I'm going to take these transfers, put them on my microfiber towel. I will take a clean microfiber towel and I'm going to wipe it off front and back. You will see that my silk screen is clear, but I left a little bit of black paste on the front. As long as it is in the teal part, it is okay. However, if you do not like the ghosting effect, you can take a Lysol wipe and wipe that down. You will see 2 different ways to put the transfer on. One, I laid the transfer down sticky side up and put the backer on. I do that with a lot of larger transfers just because it's easier. The other side, I put the backer down and put the transfer on it. Whatever way works for you. Here you will see that finished product, but it wasn't so finished. I love the way that it came out. It was nice and crisp. I'll show you a picture in the moment. However, I didn't like it up on the easel. I felt like you couldn't see the letters and the words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it upside down. My paste is completely dry, so it's not going to smudge. Only takes a couple of seconds for this paste to dry. Then I took a small squeegee and I tried to rub some bright white paste on it. I didn't like the way that that looked, so you will see that I'm going to grab a paintbrush and I'm just going to dip it in that bright white and I'm going to dry brush a background on the back. I did a couple different layers. Again, this paste dries really fast, so you can put easily 4 or 5 layers on, however dark you want to make it. This is a really cool technique and it really allows that to pop. If you don't have a glass surface piece, like I was fortunate enough to find, you can go ahead and do this with a picture frame. It all works with any glass piece. You can do this with a wood sign as well. You just do the background, let that dry, and then you can do your design right on top of it. I showed you there how I go ahead and wash those squeegees, and here is my finished product. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.